It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update as Vince McMahon discusses the recent mass WWE releases. We have more details on Tony Khan's future plans for Ring of Honor, and the talks between WWE and Cody Rhodes have reportedly ended, and could he be heading back to AEW? And if you haven't already, make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe so you don't miss the latest wrestling news. This Sunday, AEW will hold the 3rd annual Revolution pay-per-view live from Orlando, Florida. On the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer would discuss the possibility of a surprise or two on the show, with the recently released Jeff Hardy and CESARO being mentioned. Meltzer would rule out an appearance from Jeff, who is tied to a non-compete clause until Wednesday, but he noted that CESARO, aka Claudio Castagnoli, is a possibility, and he would say, "Obviously, All Out was the better show because of the big debuts. There's no promise of any big debuts. They can't do Jeff Hardy legally. I mean, Claudio could walk in on the show if they want to do something. He does like to do stuff like that." Whilst there is a spot free in the face of the Revolution ladder match, that will be filled tonight on a live episode of Rampage, with the winner of the match between Christian Cage and Ethan Page completing the field. So we know that we aren't getting a surprise there, but perhaps we could see a new signing announced on the show. But what do you think? Will there be another surprise debut at AEW Revolution? Let me know in the comments down below. Elsewhere at Revolution, Thunder Rosa is scheduled to challenge AEW Women's World Champion Britt Baker in a title match, and one of them has picked up an injury days before the show. On Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite, Rosa would team with Mercedes Martinez to take on Baker and Jamie Hayter. In the end, Thunder Rosa would manage to pin the champion to make a huge statement before their weekend encounter. In an update provided by the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Thunder Rosa is said to have suffered from an undisclosed injury during Dynamite. There was no specific details given on the nature of the injury or the severity, but it was confirmed that she will be able to work the match this weekend. Rosa went into Wednesday with a taped up leg and has seemingly damaged it further. Whether or not this will affect the result of the title match remains to be seen, but many are anticipating that Thunder Rosa will walk away from Revolution as the new women's champion. Next, let's go to some details regarding this year's WrestleMania 38 main event. This year's show will see WWE Champion Brock Lesnar challenge WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns in what is being described as a winner-takes-all championship unification match. In a recent report from the Wrestling Observer, it was noted that the plan was for both Raw and SmackDown to have their own champions, with this being the only feasible option due to both shows being on different networks. In an update provided by Dave Meltzer, again via the Wrestling Observer, it has now been noted that the winner of the Lesnar vs Reigns match will be crowned the unified WWE champion, creating one belt, but this will only be a temporary measure. He noted that the belt will eventually change back to 2 separate championships, stating that in the long term, one overarching champion won't be sustainable. There's no word on how WWE plans to split the new unified championship up in the future, or how long the solo title will last, but it seems that in the short term, WWE will have one world champion. At Ring of Honor Final Battle in December, a confrontation would take place between ROH Tag Team Champions the Briscoes and former AEW Tag Champions FTR. This would lead to a pull-apart brawl followed by a war of words over social media. However, they have yet to meet face-to-face since. With that said, Ring of Honor is now in the hands of All Elite Wrestling President Tony Khan, making the match even more inevitable than it was before. Jay Briscoe would once again take to Twitter to double down on the match, making it clear that dem boys still want to fight FTR, and he would write, "Good shit, Tony Khan. Now when do we get to wrestle FTR?" At ROH Supercard of Honor in April, the Briscoes will be defending their tag titles in an open challenge, with many anticipating FTR to accept the match. Whether or not this will be the case remains to be seen, but I'd say it's 99% certain at this point. Next up, we have a few stories coming out of a recent live interview with Vince McMahon. The WWE chairman would appear on the Pat McAfee show last night, where he would discuss a number of interesting topics. Following the recent announcement that The Undertaker will be headlining this year's WWE Hall of Fame class, it was revealed last night that McMahon will be the one to induct the Dead Man. This will be the second time Vince has inducted a Hall of Famer, with Stone Cold Steve Austin being the only other wrestler he would personally add to the Hall. So far, The Undertaker is the only name announced for this year's class, although there is more names expected to be revealed despite internal talks of dedicating this year's Hall of Fame solely to Taker. During the interview with Pat McAfee, the television show Succession would be mentioned, which centers around a wealthy family that owns an entertainment company, with McAfee comparing it to the behind the scenes of WWE. McMahon would then be asked about the future of his company when he is no longer able to run it, and if he thinks that a family member will take over. Vince would then say that he doesn't think about it, but admitted that he has expected more from his family in recent years, and he said, "No, I don't think about it a lot. Hopefully, if you built something, you want it to continue on, and prosper and grow, whether that's with a family member or without a family member. Because my view, this business is best for everybody, whether you're a part of it or you're not a part of it, you have to treat it as such. You have to be objective, and look at family members or whoever it is as you would other employees. And quite frankly, I've probably expected more, of my family members, which is probably not the right thing to say. But nonetheless, it's like you have to do the right thing for the business. So if this business is not working out, then they shouldn't be a part of the company." As we know, Vince's daughter Stephanie, his son Shane, and his son-in-law Triple H have worked behind the scenes for WWE. Shane would recently be let go from his on-screen duties due to alleged backstage heat, with Triple H's NXT structure having been completely ripped up, with a new developmental system now in place. Perhaps this interview adds to the theory that McMahon is planning on selling WWE rather than passing it down through the family. Elsewhere in McMahon's chat with Pat McAfee, he would be asked about the recent mass releases that has seen hundreds of wrestlers be let go from their contract in the space of 2 years. McMahon admitted that he has to make decisions based on his head and not his heart, and he would say, "I'm always concerned about what's best for the audience. What does the audience want? If you have dead weight around and you have situations where someone is not cutting it and you have an opportunity for someone else to come in, okay, that's probably the best thing. It's one of the reasons with Hulk Hogan and a lot of the guys who left me at one time and why I brought him back. It's not personal, it's business. Once I took the company public, it helped me be a better businessman because prior to that, I wasn't running the business with my head, but mostly my heart. These decisions are so damn tough when you do that. You don't know who has kids, someone has cancer in the family, all that is in your head. When you're a public company, you go stockholders. It is the business end. You have to make an easier and better business decision. My heart, there is still some of it in there is. At the same time, it's business. There's nothing personal about it in terms of whether I like somebody or don't like someone or whatever." Later in the interview, Vince would offer Pat McAfee a match on this year's WrestleMania card, although his opponent wasn't named at the time. This proposal follows recent reports that Pat McAfee versus Mr. McMahon is penciled in for this year's plans, although this is yet to be officially announced. All we do know is that McAfee will be wrestling on the show. This week on AEW Dynamite, Tony Khan would break the news that he is the brand new owner of Ring of Honor, sparking more questions than answers regarding the promotion's future. A statement would follow revealing that the plan is for fresh ROH content to be produced, and we now have some news on the potential goal of the show. According to a report from Cassidy Haynes at bodyslam.net, the internal plan is for AEW to use Ring of Honor as somewhat of a developmental territory as opposed to an equal brand. Additionally, he was told that the main roster AEW talent will be occasionally appearing on ROH shows going forward. On top of this, Haynes would also provide some insight into the price that Tony Khan paid for ROH, as he said that he was told it cost Khan in the range of $30 to $40 million. Ring of Honor's next show is scheduled to take place over WrestleMania weekend when Supercard of Honor is held in Dallas, Texas. So far, Joe Hendry, Ninja Mac, Swerve the Realist, and the Briscoes have been confirmed to be appearing, as well as the main event for the undisputed ROH World Championship between Bandido and Jonathan Gresham. On February 15th, 2022, Cody Rhodes and his wife Brandi officially left All Elite Wrestling, with Cody and AEW president Tony Khan unable to come to terms on a new contract. Whilst Cody's old deal did include a 1-year extension option, Khan wanted Cody to sign a longer contract beyond this, but an agreement could not be found. Following this, reports surfaced that Rhodes was in talks with WWE over a return to the promotion 6 years after he was granted his release. In a fresh report from bodyslam.net, Slam.net, it seems that plans may have changed on WWE's side of things with the return now in jeopardy. According to Cassidy Haynes, Cody and Brandy's departure from AEW was very much real life and was not a work, as some fans have suggested. As well as this, there has indeed been ongoing talks between Cody and WWE, but those conversations have since fizzled out. One source mentioned that there is now hope that Cody could make his way back to AEW, and the idea has been floated that this may well be a possibility, taking up a new role in the recently purchased Ring of Honor. This is certainly an interesting turn of events, and it makes the Cody Rhodes situation even more up in the air than it was before. But let me know what you think. Is Cody Rhodes a good fit to lead the new era of Ring of Honor? Let me know in the comments down below. And before you go, make sure you check out every released superstar that made it into WWE 2K22.